Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's severe weather update. So, we have a dangerous severe weather threat across the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes today, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk of severe weather across central and southern Michigan, northeastern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio in the orange today. We have a slight risk of severe weather across southeast Wisconsin, northeastern Illinois, central Indiana, central northeastern Ohio, and central northern Michigan in the yellow, as well as across northeast Colorado, southwest Nebraska, and northwestern Kansas. And we have a marginal risk from the eastern Rockies through the northern plains and across most of the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley in the dark green. So looking at today's tornado threat, we actually have an elevated tornado threat across central southeast Michigan, northeastern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location in the Brown area. And this includes Detroit and Fort Wayne. So make sure you're on guard for some scattered tornadoes today, especially if you live across this brown region. And in the green region, including Chicago and Cleveland, we have a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location today. So make sure you're on guard for an isolated tornado if you live in the green shade area today. Looking at today's damaging wind threat, we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location across central southeast Michigan, northeastern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio, including Detroit, Michigan, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we're going to be expecting numerous damaging wind gusts in this red zone today. So make sure you're preparing for numerous to widespread damaging winds. If you live across the red area today, we have a 15% wind risk in the yellow in areas like Milwaukee, Chicago, Columbus, and Cleveland, as well as northeast Colorado, southwest Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, in McCook and Colby. And then we have a 5% damaging wind risk in the brown areas from eastern Colorado and Kansas through Nebraska, South Dakota, northwest Minnesota, and across the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. And looking at the large hail threat, we have a 15% chance of quarter-sized hail or larger within 25 miles of a location across central southern Michigan, northwest Ohio, central northern Indiana, southeastern Wisconsin, northeastern Illinois, including Milwaukee, Chicago, Fort Wayne, and Detroit, as well as across northeast Colorado, southwest Kansas, southwest Nebraska, northwest Kansas. In the yellow, 5% chance of quarter-sized hail or larger in the brown areas today. So timing out the storms today, we have an ongoing complex of showers and storms moving across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and northern Illinois this morning. And as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see the storms redevelop across eastern Illinois, southeast Wisconsin, and especially western Michigan by around noon Central Time. We're going to be seeing some intense storms developing across southwest and south central Michigan, producing large hail damaging winds and perhaps some scattered tornadoes. Going into 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, storms are going to be covering most of Michigan, moving towards Detroit, and then going into 5 and 6 o'clock, we're going to have a line of damaging winds moving through Detroit into northern Ohio, as well as possibly some back building storms across southwest Michigan and near Chicago. Going to 7 and 8 o'clock, we could see a second, more intense round of thunderstorms moving across southern Michigan and northern Indiana. And this round will push through Detroit and Fort Wayne around 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm a little bit more concerned about the second round, as this looks a little bit more intense. Could be seeing more spin-up tornadoes and damaging wind gusts with this second evening round. And then as we go into 9 and 10 o'clock, this round of storms will move towards Cleveland, and eventually the second round of storms will begin to dissipate as we go into the overnight hours across Ohio. So make sure you're preparing for dangerous severe weather today, especially across portions of Michigan, northeastern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio, as we could be seeing numerous to widespread damaging wind gusts. And even though the derecho threat I believe is low, I wouldn't even rule out derecho today. Thanks for watching today's severe weather update. Stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.